Man, Mr. Martin 405 back with another video, and in this video, man, I'm gonna be walking y'all through taking off your EGR valve. Now, I'm changing out a bunch of parts on the C4, which mine is an 88, but you'll have this same part whether you have, I want to say it's an 85 up to 89, maybe 84. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, jump in the comments. But it'll be that way, pretty much the same part, whether it's for a Corvette of those years, a Trans Am of those years, or a Camaro of those years. They all, from my understanding and the research that I've done, they pretty much all carry this same L98 in there. So I've already replaced mine, but it's pretty fairly simple how to do. But again, mine was easy to do because I have my runners off and my fuel rail because I'm changing my fuel injectors and some of those other parts because I was having issues with those. I think my main issue was whenever I go to start the car after it's been running. Again, when I start it up in the morning, it will fire right up, get to what it needs to do. You know what I mean? Let it run for a little bit, let it idle down. I was good. And then once it's been running for a while, you know, and I turn it off after the motor's good and hot, try to start it, it takes forever to start. So the information that I pulled up, whether it was asking questions to guys in my Corvette group, or just seeking answers on different forums. It could either be, you know, the pressure not holding. It could be a faulty fuel injector. Could be the ignition control module. A couple different things that it could have been. When I did previous work on my distributor, all the stuff that I changed on my distributor when I initially got the car from my dad was change the distributor cap, I changed the rotor, and I changed the coil up top, as well as did a tune-up, changed the spark plugs, wires, all that good stuff. Only thing that I didn't change, which I wish I would have changed then, which again, I have all of this stuff off, so I'll probably change that before I throw my fuel injectors, my runners, and all of that stuff back on there, is the ignition control module in the bottom. So that could be part of my problem. Again, it was kind of on both sides of the fence with the guys on the forum, as well as the guys in my Corvette group, on what could have been causing my issue on it not wanting to start after the motor's good and hot. So going to alleviate both of those issues. Hopefully one of those is my culprit. So got new fuel injectors, got an ignition control module, but changed that out. And then while I had a lot of this off, some of these parts I was just changing out because again, the car is, you know, old as I don't know what. It's an 88. So with that, this is what I'm working with here. Now, don't mind the mess. I still got to kind of vacuum some of this out. Finish scraping off the small pieces of gasket that I didn't get off of there. Get that cleaned up so therefore I can get my new gaskets, get my runners and all of that stuff back on there, as well as my fuel injectors, all of that stuff. So, but yeah, EGR valve right here. Your bolts are 3/8 bolts. There's one here and then of course one on the other side, which I got mine from this side. But again, I have it pretty much broken down and makes it virtually foolproof to get this off and changed. So again, you got those two bolts, pull those two bolts, just slides right up out of there. I had to kind of scrape and get parts of the old gasket off of there. Once I got the old gasket off of there, pull the old one off, got that one together, put my new gasket up under there, as well as, you know, I just put a little bit of gasket sealer up under there to make sure there was no kind of leak whatsoever. Because my older one, man, it was actually still working. Exactly what did I do with it? I just had it messing with it. Oh, there it is. My old one, it was still working. And like I said, the easy way to check it is, which I can't really do it with one hand, is to push down this dial, which is here. I wonder if I can try to attempt to. I can kind of push it down, but not good enough to really get you to understand what I'm talking about. So it's actually still kind of working. But they said one easy way to check and see if it's still working the way it's supposed to, you push that down. Once you get that pushed down, you kind of put your hand over your vacuum line here, or where your vacuum line goes. And if it stays down, then it's still working. But I don't want to get all this other stuff put on there and not change this. But this is how it looks, rather dirty. So I also wonder if this was the cause of my excessive exhaust fumes and smelling extreme fumes when I got the car running. Hence the why I have it pulled in. I was backing it into the garage, but again, I didn't want a lot of those gas fumes going into the house. It takes forever to get those out of there. So, but yeah, man, it's pretty simple to get that changed outside of getting around certain obstacles, to get those bolts out, to get that dropped back in there. Something else that I changed, because I initially went in to change my thermostat to see if I can get my heat back working. If you haven't checked out previous videos that I've dropped, one of the previous videos that I did was changing or repairing my climate control module, because that was kind of doing whatever it wanted to. Some of the lights would work, some of them wouldn't. Sometimes the temperature would just flash. It pretty much did what it wanted to. So if you want to check out that video, man, I'll link that up in, I think in this corner over here. One of these corners right there. So initially got that fixed. Well, tore that apart, got that fixed, got it back in there. Still, heat wasn't working. So I'm checking to see what my next steps will be. Check your thermostat. So wanted to just change my thermostat. So took those bolts off, which, if you don't know, sits right down there. Got those two bolts off, pulled my thermostat housing, pulled that old thermostat. It looked pretty. So got that changed out of there. Still haven't been able to check whether or not that was my culprit, because then I start tearing apart this other stuff. Because while I was getting the thermostat housing off, a lot of these vacuum lines are extremely old and brittle. So the vacuum line that comes back over from your little can that sits, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that sits right there. A couple of vacuum lines that run to that can over there, and then they run back up and then to the bottom of the throttle body, as well as your EGR valve. That line broke, so I had to actually trace all of that stuff back out, which hence led me to taking off runners. And then once I took the runners off to get back to all of that stuff, to take the thermostat housing off, that's why we're here now. So that being said, that's why I just decided to replace a lot of this stuff up under here. I mean, why not? Got it tore down. Plus, you know, just builds up my knowledge on how to fix certain stuff. Type of person that I am, if I can fix it, I'm not going to take it to somebody else and pay them to do something I can do at the house. So with that being said, thermostat, EGR valve, fuel injectors, new gaskets for the runners, ignition control module, and I think that's it for now, because I may just go ahead and break down why I got this fuel rail off, which this is my fuel rail over here. Don't mind the mess. Yeah, and there's sawdust and stuff everywhere. I'm gonna get all of this stuff cleaned out, get me some compressed air, blow all of that stuff out, and actually get it cleaned out as well. Which if I'd have been thinking, I wouldn't have left this over here. Working on other parts. You may ask, man, why you got sawdust everywhere, man? What is that? Is it a woodshop class? And, you know, no. What I'm actually doing is I'm actually working on another video, which, man, y'all go check out that video. I'm pretty sure I'll have that one together before. No, this one will probably be out before that one. So y'all come back and stay tuned for that video. But anybody that has one of these C4s or Camaro or Trans Am back in that time, which I really can't even say those, because an older Trans Am that I had that was an 82 actually had a different speaker setup that had 4x6s in the dash. I don't recall it having speakers in the doors. And then it had 6x9s behind the seats. So speaker setup is different. Anyway, with the C4, you have 5.5-inch speakers in the rear and in the doors. So with having those in the rears and in the doors, what I did was I took those out. After I took those out, I took the face plates off. Plates off, you realize, hey man, that hole's big enough for a 6x9. But you can't just drop a 6x9 in there and bolt it up, because the holes don't match up. So what I've been doing is making these templates here. So 6x9 is going to bolt to this. I can drop that in there. Of course, I'm going to have to run my wire, because this was a Bose setup. So can't just run factory wires, which no big deal. I'm going to get that hooked up. No issue at all. So that's why I got all of the sawdust over there. But I digress. I'm going to get all that cleaned up. Y'all come back and check out that video with me changing out all my speakers, because I will not be going back to 5.5s in the back or 5.5s in the door. I'm going all new speakers, and I'm actually running 6 speakers, and then I'm probably going to run 2 8s in the back as well. So I'm gonna have to get that box built. But what I'm actually running with is putting 2 6x9s in the rear, putting 6.5s in the doors, and then I'm putting 2 4-inch speakers in the dash. Now again, if you have a C4, you realize that the dash pad, which I'm also working on, y'all come back for that video, which looks like this, has the holes up there and these sit up there. There was actually material that covered this, pulled that off. You can tell, like I said, in the 82 that I had, this was actually a speaker grill. There was a hole here. You can put 6x9 or 4x6s in the dash. This, just a piece of plastic. So I plan on cutting this out, or a part of this out, so I can sit these 4-inch speakers in the top there. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Don't mind the pink tool bag. It's not mine, it's my wife's. So y'all don't be on here talking about that's my bag, because it's not. Anyway, man, so other stuff that I'm doing, like I said, I got plenty of content coming on this. About to go back in here and chill with the family for the time being, but I thought I would drop this video. Let y'all know if y'all had any questions on how to change your EGR valve, all of that good stuff. Letting you know the process that I went through to get mine out before I got all of this stuff back together. Thought it was going to be ready before car show season coming up this summer, but I may actually push it back to next summer, just to make sure I got it right. Changing all of this stuff, like I said, then I can jump on starting to work on the interior, all that good stuff, man. But appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. We're running up on 650 subscribers, man. Y'all continue to push, continue to subscribe, share, comment, like, all of that good stuff, man. Got plenty of content coming. Y'all got any questions, y'all hit me. I'll put my social media info in the description, as well as links to all the stuff that I've bought so far, whether it's off of eBay, Amazon, or what have you. So if y'all are looking to grab any of that stuff, let me know. Till the next video, peace.